Chien-Ming Wang, not what you would think they would be in 6 games, 0-3, 16.07, 32 hits and 8 walks, 40 base runners in 14 innings. And here's the Jeep pitcher scouting report.
Well, is he back? Well, he's back in the rotation, but let's see if his stuff is really back. Day games, I mean, he's a career, always pitches well in the day. 19-9 career record, good opportunity for him to get back there, be comfortable, and get back in this rotation. Right side, he absolutely dominates right-handed hitters. It's a good indication if his sinker's really boring in on their hands.
And Wang deals, and we are underway as he strikes one, or throws strike one, to Ian Kinsler. Tough start there, Paul.
Either way it is, if you're the hitter, it's strike one, you know?
Wang has not started since April 18th. He lasted an inning and a third against the Indians, gave up 8 hits and 8 runs. After 3 starts, his ERA was 34.50, but he's relieved 3 times after being put on the DL and having some rehab starts. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Wang happy to be back in the rotation. 2 years running, he had 38 victories combined. In fact, from 03 to 08, he was 54-20. That's a top quality number 1 or 2 starter. For a couple of years, he was the ace of the Yankee staff. And that was one of the reasons Joe Girardi said, hey, that's why we put him back. This guy, when he's right, is a very important player for us. And when asked why Phil Hughes and not Jabba Chamberlain, he said out of spring training, Phil Hughes was the 6th starter. So he gets moved to the bullpen. And Wang deals. There's that power sinker.
You see the depth of that. I mean, it's going down. It's not that tailing sinker. The movement you see, that's just a dead downward sinker. It almost looks like a left-handed slider. It's got so much action on it.
Grounded foul.
And that's the ball right there that we saw a lot from Chien-Ming Wang early in the season, the high sinker, and that's not what you want. And we talked about in the pregame how he does so well against right-handed hitters, and that's when he gets that ball boring in on their hands and not kind of riding up in the zone.
Last year, an abbreviated season, 8-2, 4.07. He got hurt on the bases in Houston on June 15th, a Lisfranc sprain, out for the remainder of the season. And the 3-2. Foul back. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. It's beautiful out right now. No other way to put it. 63 degrees, high humidity, 5 miles per hour wind, and the forecast is for scattered late showers. Kinsler has a 5-game hitting streak, during which time he's 6 for 16. Gets on base. 282 hitter. And the pitch. Strike 3. Kinsler out looking.
It's funny too, you come out, you're making your comeback, you want to get off to a good start, you throw a borderline pitch, probably a ball. In Kinsler's mind, he's probably right, ball's just off the corner, but you get the call. What a way to start the game. Instead of ball 4, you strike, 1 out with a strikeout. Another thing we got to look at today, Michael, is Chien-Ming Wang doesn't have a lot of experience throwing to Cervelli. I mean, he's thrown to him 1 time out of the pen.
Michael Young lost one to center field. Melky Cabrera is there. 2 outs. Speaking of Cervelli, let's take a look at the entire Yankees defense, brought to you by Home Depot. In the outfield, Damon Cabrera Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, A-Rod, Pena, Cano, and Teixeira. Pena making his 4th start at short this year. Just a day off for Jeter. Cervelli behind the plate, and Wang is on the mound. Here's Hank Blaylock. Joe Girardi said he was actually thinking about starting Posada behind the plate today, day game after night game. He asked Posada how he felt yesterday. He said, I feel pretty good. And then Joe thought overnight, you know what, he feels pretty good. I don't want to weaken his body and maybe get him hurt, so I'll give him the day game after night game off. He'll be back in the lineup tomorrow night, the 1-0. And that is squibbed foul.
Such a hard decision as a manager, but you have to have that long-term, knowing how long the season is, to take Jorge out of the Posada, out of the lineup right now. The way he's swinging the bat, I mean, he's been so good the past couple of games, but catching, especially just coming back. I mean, you just don't want to beat somebody up and have them, you know, go through that, getting back in the lineup too quick.
And the 1-1 popped up and out of play.
Hank Blaylock, I mean, avoid the injuries. I mean, he 58 games in 07, 65 in 08. You know, he has trouble staying away from the injury. Everybody knows he's a power threat. I mean, he's hit 32 home runs in a year before. He already has 12. And lefty low with no Hamilton, I mean, it becomes more important that he becomes that presence from the left side of the plate.
Swung on and missed. An impressive first inning for Chin-Ming Wong as he returns to the rotation. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts. Blaylock, the final one. The ball sinking down under the swing. It's the Rangers nothing, and the New York Yankees. Mark Teixeira back in the lineup. He'll bat third. He'll play first. Cleaning up and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing, Hideki Matsui. He has been hot of late. Melky Cabrera in center. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. And Ramiro Pena, the shortstop, will bat ninth, giving Derek Jeter a rare day off. McCarthy's numbers. 10 starts, 5-2, 60 hits in 60 innings, 41 strikeouts, 23 walks. Opponents hitting .261 against the lanky right-hander. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scouting report.
Well, tied for the lead. His 5 wins are tied for the lead on the whole Texas staff. Hot streak. I mean, is he another guy who's going through a hot streak? His last road start was a complete game shutout, which was the first one of his career, his short career. I mean, he's only pitched 3 times against the Yankees. He's 1-0 with his career record.
1 start, 2 relief appearances. Damon wraps one to right field, and it is a foul ball. And another broken bat. Unbelievable. At least 3 a game. Let's take a look at the umpires in this game this afternoon. Brian Knight is the home plate ump. The crew chief, Dana DeMuth, is at first. Doug Eddings at second. And Hunter Wendelstedt is over at third. Trying to get that gum out.
Let me ask you something, Michael, and I'm sure that, you know, you came to a lot of games when you were young. You make an effort to come to the ballpark, and it has to be done throughout the course of the year that players get days off. But how disappointed are you if you come in today, you know, Posada's not playing, Jeter's not playing, and you come in and you're hoping the Yankees win. Did you ever, I mean, I know Bobby Mercer was your idol. Did you ever go to a game where he wasn't in the lineup?
Yeah, you get disappointed for sure. I mean, you go in there to see him, and especially for an afternoon game, there's a lot of kids in a matinee game. And obviously most of the kids growing up, they look up to Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter gets a rare day off today. Must stink for them.
It's just a different thing. I mean, you might see him throughout the game. You might even see him come in and win the game as a pinch hitter. But again, I think you touched it, Michael. A lot of little kids. I mean, the first person they come to see is Derek Jeter, but over 162 games.
That one's driven deep to right field. Cruz back. He's on the track. He's looking up. See ya. Solo home run, Johnny Damon. And the Yankees are up 1-0.
You know, Michael, as a little kid, you come to the ballpark to see home runs too, you know, and that didn't take long. So the Yankees got to lead 1-0. All is well. Johnny Damon gets a fastball just out over the middle of the plate, kind of shaking his head like, you know I got that one. What a way to start the day.
A nice catch by Fan in the green cap. 11th home run for Johnny Damon. Here's Nick Swisher. There's a strike. That's Damon's 26th career leadoff home run.
Seems like a lot, huh?
Used to always lead off till this year. He's got some power. Brandon McCarthy came over in a trade with the White Sox. Deals the 2-1. That one's driven the other way. Deep to left. Murphy back. Still back. Track. Wall. It's off the base of the wall. And Swisher motors into second with a double. So the Yankee bat so dormant last night come out loud and hard in the first inning.
See another fastball down the middle of the plate. Nick Swisher's starting to show some power the other way. Had a big hit in Cleveland off the wall. There's another one left center field. That's staying through the ball. That's not trying to pull it. Again, McCarthy's a 4-pitch pitcher. He's thrown a couple fastballs. It's gotten a lot of the plate. It'll be a tough afternoon if he doesn't start firing the corners.
Mark Teixeira. A little upstairs 1-0. Now, we told you Damon had 26 career leadoff home runs. The record belongs to Ricky Henderson, 81 career leadoff home runs.
I think it's 26. Doesn't sound like so much anymore. 81 career leadoff.
You know who's catching up? Soriano.
Yeah.
I think he's got in the 50s. Check for sure. Teixeira did not play yesterday. His ankle was barking a bit after a slide in the second base. And this is a slide that kind of turned that game around. Kept the inning alive. Jeter ended up scoring on that and then opened up the 7-run inning.
Then we talked about a little bit about how running. Teixeira pop one up there. Just got under it.
Murphy makes the play. And he dropped the ball.
Yeah, this is too.
He dropped the ball. They gave it to him. The third base umpire, Wendelstedt, said he dropped the ball. And Ron Washington's going to talk things over. And that is an E7.
I think Wendelstedt's trying to argue, saying that if he was exchanging the ball, it wouldn't have fallen straight down, and I think that the ball fell straight down. But to me, it's like he was getting the ball out of his glove.
Yeah, that's a bad call.
Yeah, that's an out. That ball's caught right there, and then you just every once in a while fumble it. But I think Wendelstedt's thing was it fell straight down. Teixeira thought he was out. Oh. I was saying earlier, if you watch his slide from the night before, and we were talking about it, he kind of caught a spike going in there. You see this here. Yeah, that ball's clearly in the pocket of the glove. You see far less from the second baseman in that transfer, and they always call it out at second base. But we were just kind of compliment on the umpires how great a job they've done in this series, Michael. You know that?
That was not a good job there. Pitch is outside. So Teixeira reaches on the E7. Alex Rodriguez, like most of the Yankee offense, left some runners on base last night. Runner at third with one out. Couldn't get in. Bases loaded with one out. He hit into a double play. After the game, he was very hard on himself. There's a high fly ball right field. Nelson Cruz makes a catch. Tagging is Swisher. Here's the throw. It's cut off. They have Teixeira hung up. And Teixeira's trying to get into a rundown. He's out at first. Got him on his shoulder, so a double play. And you score that 9-6 as Swisher stays at third.
Well, this is a strange play. As a runner on first base, you know, Cruz throws the ball pretty well, but you see it's a good throw because it's easily cut. Teixeira has to get a read immediately if it's over the cutoff man's head, which he didn't. Close play at the end there, but I think he got him on the back. And Cruz stays behind it, and the key here from a right fielder standpoint is to make the ball head high so they can cut it. Teixeira got a bad read on the height of that throw. Got too far down the line.
A-Rod trying to ump. And there's a strike to Robinson Cano.
Funny, as a runner, as soon as you see an outfielder come through, you can almost immediately tell out of their hand, you know, the trajectory of the ball. And that ball, I mean, that was just a good cutoff throw. I can't figure out what happened there because you got to know that they'll cut that. Cruz made a good play, and again, you get caught up in trying to throw that guy out at third. The last thing you want to do is try to launch that thing over the cutoff man's head and let that next guy advance.
Now, I'm sure that Yankee fans don't want to hear it, but it's kind of poetic justice since Teixeira shouldn't have been on first anyway.
There you go. You figured it all out, Mike.
No, I try to figure out life, but it's not working out.
Look where you are. You're at Yankee Stadium on a day game, huh?
Line drive right at Davis. So the Yankees hit some shots off Brandon McCarthy, but the only one that put anything on the board was Johnny Damon's swing on a 2-2 pitch. Got a fastball right down the middle. He put it into the seats and right. His 11th home run. We played one, and it's 1-0. Channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. This matchup's big. David Price, the young, hard-throwing left-hander for the Rays, 1-0, 3 even ERA. CC Sabathia, 5-3, 3.46. Coverage begins at 6 with the BP show. 6:30 is our pregame show, and right around 7:08 is first pitch. Can't we convince you to stay in town for one more day, Paul?
You know what? That's a good matchup to try, but I think I got a few errands to run tomorrow. I don't think I can get out of them.
Here's Nelson Cruz. Grounded to third. Nice play by Alex Rodriguez. He does the 360. And there's one away. You know what? I've really been impressed with Nelson Cruz. I mean, he flies down the line. He's a cleanup hitter sometimes, Those are the guys that just jog when they don't get a hit. This guy's flying down the line.
There's a guy that, hit a home run the first night about 450 feet. Had a ball whistled over his head from Burnett. The next at bat, got up, continued to play the game. Pretty much, again, we talked about how he learned the game late in life, but you got to root for guys like that. You understand that, what he brings to the game as far as his power, his offensive numbers. This organization is very high on him.
He's running as if he's going to the train station, and that's the last train out for another 12 hours. He's got to catch that train. Or like his hair is on fire.
I feel like that sometimes, Michael. Huh? You got to catch that last train, Yeah, we had Price on the videos pitching tomorrow. That story to me just doesn't make sense. I mean, here are the Tampa Bay Rays last year. He probably got the most important out of the history of that franchise. And then because of all the arbitration things and things like that, he probably started the year in the minor leagues. And now he's up. I mean, does he have big league stuff? Obviously. You don't put a kid in like they did last year to get the last out in the championship series.
I'm going to help you have some sense, maybe. He's on the same innings limit as Java. So if they had started him in the rotation right from the beginning of the year, he would have gone over that innings limit.
I don't take that. I still think it has something to do with the years to get into arbitration. I don't think you do that with your #1 draft pick from a year before that helped you win a league championship. What do you think?
Well, I see your point, but I understand their point as well. I mean, it is a business, and arbitration, it might save them millions of dollars down the line. It's not a big market team, #1. #2, I think the innings limit has something to do with it. And they said that if they send him down to the minor leagues for the first 2 months, he could pitch 3 innings and they could take him out because they don't care if they win games there. Up here, you have to win games. So we know you're going to be watching tomorrow.
That's right.
But you have errands early. David Murphy grounds one right back to Wong. 2 away.
Well, I think you're seeing a big sigh of relief on Chien-Ming Wong's face, knowing that he's off to a pretty good start today. You see his sinker sinking. Left-handed hitter. You see that ball downward, and you're seeing ground balls. That's a welcome sight for everybody in the first base dugout with the pinstripes on.
Now we have to keep a close eye on Chien-Ming Wong's pitch count today. He's at 20 now, 19 as we speak, and he's going to be limited to 80 for the entire game. And Joe Girardi said, I hope we get 5 or 6 innings out of him with 80 pitches.
And with Tomko throwing last night, it's going to be interesting to me to find out where they're going to use Phil Hughes. Does he automatically come in if it's a 5th or 6th inning, or do you just start spotting your bullpen up and give him an opportunity in a close game to pitch the 8th inning like you used to do with Java? What's your call? Foul.
I think they're going to hold off on using Hughes until tomorrow. So they're not going to use him today. I think in the future they could use him anyway. I asked Girardi that today. He said, I could see him being used longer because we want to keep him stretched out. But he also has stuff that's good enough where he could pitch the 8th inning. He said he throws 93. But you would think that with the adrenaline of coming in a close game, it might even go higher than that. Right. So they think he has 8th inning stuff. The 0-2. 1-2.
Good slider. And Chien-Ming Wong, you saw a lot early in the year. He missed with that slider. And that slider right there, I mean, it's a ball, but it's a ball missed in the right area. You don't miss out over the plate. You run it off the plate. So he's going to try to throw this sinker to try to hit the outside corner, bring it back.
Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Wong. He's been perfect through 2, and that was a 10-pitch inning, which is exactly what he needs. The total right now is at 23. He's got 57 more in the 1964, they said, you know what, he was too great of a player to be a good manager because he always expected people to play up to his level. There's a strike to Matsui. I still am amazed at that story. You pick up the phone one day and Ted Williams is on the other end of the line.
I know. I thought it was a trick call myself, and my sister had told me that was going to happen. I mean, the story was she was in Florida writing a book and interviewed him, and he found out that she was my sister. And the next thing you know, I wasn't swinging the bat real well in spring training.
This is when you were with the Reds?
No, with the Yankees.
You were with the Yankees,
yeah.
okay.
And gave me a call. Knew how I hit. Probably said I was pulling off the ball. Better start going back to left field. And, you know, to sit there and talk on the phone with Ted Williams was kind of cool.
Ground ball to second. Kinsler's there. One away. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, brought to you by Home Depot. In the outfield, Murphy, Bird, and Cruz. That's left to right. Infield, Young, Andrus, Kinsler, and Davis. Teagard makes his 13th start of the season behind the plate. McCarthy is on the mound. How long did that conversation go?
I probably talked to him 10 or 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Did he do most of the talking?
Yeah, I did all the listening. There's no doubt about it. But you could tell it was genuine. It wasn't just something that, you know, he loved to talk hitting. And the thing that impressed me that I thought, wow, I mean, this isn't just a prank call. Is, I mean, he said, I've seen you hit. I know what you're doing. And it was, the things he was telling me was true. And it was neat.
You ever get to meet him in person?
Yeah, we did. And, you know, it's funny you say he was too good of a player to be a good manager. And as soon as I got called up to Cincinnati, Pete Rose was the manager.
Right.
And a lot of people said the same thing. He wasn't a great, you know, strategic manager because he, you know, but what he did expect was everybody to play hard like he did, which was almost a, you know, a challenge every day because, you know, he just couldn't understand guys that didn't hustle and didn't, you know, just didn't want to play every day and go out and win. And, you know, that was a fun guy to play for.
Melky goes down swinging. If you think about it, Paul, one guy who really was an outstanding player, I mean, a borderline Hall of Famer was Joe Torre, and he translated into a very good manager.
Yeah, I don't think that people realize numbers-wise what he did accomplish as a player. And, you know, if you look at hits, and I mean, Joe Torre didn't get any cheap hits. I mean, there's one thing you can say about Joe Torre, he didn't have real good wheels, and that's not stretching it too far.
Francisco Cervelli fouls it off. Makes you think, who's the best player that became a really good manager? I mean, Sparky Anderson wasn't a good player. Tommy Lasorda. Billy Martin was a decent player, but he wasn't great. Torre might be.
You're right.
He might be the best player who became a great manager.
Mike Scioscia was a good, solid catcher, but not offensively, not as good as Joe Torre.
Torre won an MVP and a batting title. So, I mean, again, borderline Hall of Famer. He was a 9-time All-Star, Joe Torre.
Ryan, you're good. You know that? You just slip things over and you make Michael look so good. I need a little Ryan to go home with me. You know that?
You can have him.
Ride around in the car and just hand me little notes.
It's just not even about baseball, about everything.
Hey, you need to go to the store now or something, you know? Good inning for McCarthy.
Francisco Cervelli goes down looking, and as Paul said, a good inning as McCarthy retires the Yankees in order. And we go to the third. It's 1-0 Texas. one of the great doctors in this area.
Oh, is that right? What kind of doctor, in case we need?
He does everything.
Does everything.
Everything, and he does it well.
It's like going to the 7-Eleven.
He also plays the Back to the Future guy, the mad scientist.
That's when he doesn't comb his hair.
Here's Chris Davis against Chien-Ming Wang, who really has been good for the first 2 innings. And the pitch. Fouled away. Look at this.
Look at that little comb over, huh?
Wow, what was going on with that hair?
Oh, no, that's a third-grade picture, I think.
I got to tell you something. You were better looking as a kid.
Oh, that's nice of you.
You didn't have any of that anger. Yeah, no stress.
Used to get hit every time when you played back then. I mean, this is such a good sign for Chien-Ming Wang. You see guys beating the ball in the dirt, fouling them off their toes. That just means that good sink movement on his fastball.
A friend of mine just came up with a guy who was a great player, who was a pretty good manager. You ready? Yogi Berra.
Oh, yeah. I got another one,
too. Took 2 teams to the World Series.
Tony Perez. He managed the Reds for a while.
But he wasn't a great manager.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he didn't manage very well. You're right. It's very long. I guess there was a reason. Good guy, though. I know that.
Doggy, right? That was his
Doggy,
name?
yeah. Part of the Big Red Machine in the 70s.
And the 0-2. Line down the left field line. It is a fair ball. It bounces into the seats for a double. So a double for Chris Davis.
You know, if you saw the first 2 pitches in this at bat, both of them down and in, and then here's the sinker that doesn't sink. It just kind of tails out over the middle of the plate. You saw 2 swings off his toe into the dirt, but then if it's a left-handed hitter, if you get a sinker up and it just runs, that's how you can handle it. Good piece of hitting by Davis.
Here's Taylor Teagarden. And he bunts right toward third. A-Rod will make the play. Fire across the diamond, so the sacrifice successful. 5-3 as Chris Davis moves to third. Time to send out birthday wishes, Paul. 50th birthday wish to one of our great cameramen, Frank Lombardo. 50 is a big number.
Yeah. Not there yet, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, I'm not there yet either.
Oh, I didn't know.
2 more years. Tony Payne, his birthday today, he's 52. But once you're over 50, you're on the back 9 anyway. No, you count.
Definitely on the plateau looking down.
Yeah. You got more stuff in the rearview mirror than in front of the windshield. Andrus grounds one to A-Rod, checks the runner back across the diamond, and boy, Chien-Ming Wang got exactly what he needed there with a runner on third.
You know, it's funny, and I've looked at the last 4 pitches. 3 of them have been great sinkers, this being one of them. So he just bores in on the right-hander, and then the one that stayed up in the zone ended up, you know, Davis smoked one to left. But again, he's got, if he gets that thing sinking, this is what he can do. He can keep the ball in the infield all day.
.29 pitches so far for Chien-Ming Wang. Here's Ian Kinsler, struck out looking in the first inning. Count 2-0.
Cervelli kind of just move over there late and just stab at that ball, made it look easy. But that's that pitch you, especially with a guy on third base, you got to be careful with. You get a sinker down in the dirt, don't get your body in front of it. That thing will go to the screen, and you kind of steal a run. The Rangers. And every once in a while you see a hitter, just even good hitters. I mean, Ian Kinsler's a good hitter. You see him try to do just a little bit too much on one certain pitch. You know, you're heading the count 2-0. Forgets that you're facing a sinker ball. And all of a sudden, you know, you try to do a little bit too much. It was a good hittable pitch.
Count 3-1. Foul back, 3-2.
Kinsler not getting cheated again. Another sinker. That one a little more down in the zone. Tougher pitch to hit. All of a sudden, you know, you're in a full count.
"34 pitches for Wong, 23 strikes, 11 balls." As Cervelli has a little bit of a conversation with him, and the clicker is so important today for Dave Island because at 80, that's all she wrote because Wong's been pitching out of the bullpen.
The infamous pitch counter.
"3-2, and that one gets past Cervelli. Here comes Davis. He slides in, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, you saw that pitch a couple times in the at-bat, and we talked about it. I mean, if you overthrow that sinker as a catcher, you know that it's going to be a tough stop. And that's just a big break for the Texas Rangers. You see, Cervelli has no time to get over there. Just an overthrown sinker, and it doesn't bounce true because of the spin on it. Not much of a chance. I tell you what, as a runner on third base, you've got to know, especially with 2 outs, anything in the dirt, if it pops up, that you're going to take a chance. Score that run.
So that sac bunt worked out for them. Got the runner to third where he could score on the wild pitch. So Kinsler's at first. Michael Young swings at the first pitch and pops it up and out of play.
Interesting to see if you see that you get a walking lead and anything in the dirt. I mean, this is an easy one, but anything in the dirt that bounces away from the catcher, you can get a good break from third base. Interesting to see if Texas is going to stay with that. Are they running on the Yankees, or are they running on Jorge Posada, just seeing if his arm's healthy? We haven't seen any attempts today.
Joe Girardi said he thought that the arm was okay and that he's just a little bit high. He said sometimes catchers go through that. A lot of his throws are up.
How much of a staple, though, is Posada? You hear so much about Jeter and everybody. Jorge is such just a statesman to this team. I mean, he does so many things for the pitchers, the young guys. Great attitude.
Nice play by A-Rod. And he does the backhand, but not in time. And everybody's safe. Oh, he had a better shot at the runner at first. I don't know if it was a great shot, but everybody's safe.
Again, these are the hits that you can deal with off Chien-Ming Wong. A ground ball is just hitting a tough area. Kinsler gets a good jump. Teixeira gets a bad jump. Didn't expect it.
That was one of those, whoa.
Yeah.
Here's Hank Blaylock. He struck out in the first inning. First and second now with 2 outs. That's a base hit for Young. Ball fouled away.
Again, you see Chien-Ming Wong look down. That's the ball that just hangs out over the plate. And Blaylock, we talked about it in the pregame, that, you know, he's their presence from the left side now with Hamilton being out of the lineup. Dangerous at bat for Chien-Ming Wong right here. Cervelli's going to get a little gun shy back there with men on base. I mean, when you miss with a sinker down in the dirt, mean, that ball had to, inside the plate so you can get your body in front of it. But those ones are overthrown sinkers out wide either side. Tough on the catcher.
A double, a sac bunt, a wild pitch, and the game is tied at 1. Now a walk and an infield single, first and second with 2 outs. The number 3 batter, Hank Blaylock, at the plate. It's a nice block by Cervelli. Catcher's going to earn his salary today with Chien-Ming Wang. A lot of pitches in the dirt if he's right.
Most times when you see balls in the dirt, I mean, they're usually the sliders or things like that. These have all been sinkers, and that's when he's really getting on top of it and getting that ball to sink. There's some eye black there, huh? That looks like an armor all on. Nice little shine to it. I was so glad when they came with that black. I never used it because you forget about it and kind of wipe your eyes when you were sweating. You'd have black stuff all over your face, and they came with those little like Band-Aids. That's the real stuff there. They came with those little adhesive little black strips.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Charging is Johnny Damon. Ian Kinsler's going to try to score. He will. It's an RBI single for Blaylock. He went the other way, and Texas leads 2-1.
Good lesson for you power hitters. I mean, Hank Blaylock, one of the power hitters, but again, he went to the left side, took a pitch down and away, singled to left, drive in 1 run at a time. You're not always going to be able to hit that 3-run home run. Really good piece of disciplined hitting, Hank Blaylock. Didn't try to pull the ball. I mean, if you try to pull that ball and roll over it, you're already in the dugout and screaming and yelling, going out for the next inning. But again, it's a left-handed hitter. You stay in there. You know you're going to get a sinker. You stay with that ball. That ball, it's off the plate probably.
And there's a Coors Light freeze can on contact. Foul away. The one thing that Juan wanted to do was stay away from innings like this because, again, it brings the pitch count up there. He's at 43 now. Cruz grounded to third. That was in the second. Good slider.
Good slider there. And if you look at Cruz hitting, this is one that we've talked about before. How I don't understand how some people can hit with glasses on. That's a good slider. I mean, he's never seen anything but a sinker from him today. Kind of breaks up everything. To see those glasses, to me, it always kind of mess with your depth perception. Some people hitting them do a good job. Obviously, he does a good job with it.
You never hit with the glasses? I remember you seeing them sometime.
I could take batting practice in them, but not in the game. I just didn't trust I was going to see the ball well enough.
1-2. Strike 3. Nelson Cruz down looking. So Chien-Ming Wang gets into some trouble, and he gives up the lead. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 2-1 Rangers. league this year. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Those are your choices. Number 1, the Angels. Number 2, the Rangers. Number 3, the Red Sox. Number 4, the Tigers. And number 5, the Yankees. Gee, I wonder which one's going to win.
Who are you going now?
I think the Yankees
I know who's going to win the poll, but who do you really think?
I really think the Yankees are the best record. I think the Yankees are the best team right now.
I think they are the best team, but look at the division they're playing in. You know, if Texas gets hot, you're playing 18 times against, you know, Seattle and Oakland. You can rack up a lot of victories. You know, the difference there is, I'm thinking, you know, you're worried about who Texas is playing. You know, if New York's playing well, it doesn't matter who they play against. They're going to beat them because on paper, you know, they can match up almost at every position, and they're starting pitching second to none. So I think you're definitely right about skill level as players.
Now, speaking of starting pitching, we have to hit on this. Obviously, you heard Gordon Damer during our pregame show, but if you just joined the game at the start, A.J. Burnett has been suspended for 6 games for his involvement in the game on Tuesday when he threw up and in on Nelson Cruz. Now, again, the umpire didn't throw him out of the game, but obviously Major League Baseball felt that this was on purpose, and the fact that it was over the head, they end up suspending him for 6 games. He's going to appeal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you appeal and get it cut in half to 3, then you don't miss a start anyway.
I don't think it'll get cut to 3. No. At most, it'll go to 5. But here's my problem. All right, you're obviously reading A.J. Burnett's mind because after the game he said it just got away from him. Now, he probably did it on purpose because of what they did to Mark Teixeira. But my point is this. How does A.J. Burnett get suspended and not Vicente Padilla, who hit a guy twice and started it?
Yeah, I agree 100% because does A.J. Burnett throw that pitch if Teixeira isn't hit? Probably not. So, you know, it was caused by the first thing that happened, and that's Padilla. And from what I understand, that was taken care of in their clubhouse, not by management, by other players. You know, there weren't a lot of guys, even on the Texas Rangers, that were happy about what happened that night.
Another high drive right field. Going back is Cruz. He's on the track. He leaps, and he makes the play for the second out of the inning. Right in front of the auxiliary scoreboard.
Tell you, we're seeing a good player, and you know, you talked last inning about how he hustles, and we talked about his power. I mean, he made this play look pretty easy. Got, you know, kind of horizontal with the fence so he could run along it. Brought back his old basketball skills. Pretty good play.
The ball away from the fan with the Yankee jersey on and the glove.
Fan was there too, huh? Ready to make the play.
That would have been quite an argument. Now, Padilla was not suspended. He was fined an undisclosed amount. The Modell scoreboard 2-1 Texas. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. I talked to somebody in the Texas organization, let's just leave it at that, and he couldn't believe that Burnett got suspended and Padilla didn't. He couldn't believe it. So again, he'll appeal, but usually they don't knock off more than 1 game off the appeal. Count 2-2. It would almost make sense if AJ had drilled the guy, not in the head, but maybe in the back. Would he have gotten 6 games for that?
Probably not. I mean, probably wouldn't be any different.
That one's driven the other way.
And that's another thing that I never did understand. I mean, if you get, I remember when I got hit in Seattle, we ended up having that big thing. Well, you know, the pitcher gets suspended 5 games, right? He doesn't even miss a start, really.
Right, if you maneuver it the right way.
Yeah, and then I get suspended 5 games. You miss 5 games because you're playing every day. So the pitcher being suspended is far different than an everyday player being suspended.
So in effect, with the 6-game suspension, what they're trying to do is have him miss 1 start.
Right.
2-2. And Swisher swings and misses. He thought he foul tipped the ball, but he's tagged out by Teagarden, and that'll do it. So Brandon McCarthy has gotten a lot better. He's retired 9 in a row, helped by this nice defensive play by Nelson Cruz. 3 in the books here at the stadium. It's 2-1 Texas. Hey, it's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Who are the two managers to manage both the Yankees and the Rangers? I know this one. I think you do too.
I know this one too.
Really? You know both of them?
Oh, I know one of them. Hang on a second. Let me read the question over again.
We'll find out in the bottom of the fourth. There's David Murphy against Chien-Ming Wang. Count 1-0.
If I go quiet on you this inning, Michael, I'm over here thinking, all right?
All right.
Just make like I'm not here for a while, all right? That's very easy.
It's a nice dream.
There goes that thought cloud in your mind again.
Count 1 and 2. And the 1-2 pitch outside.
Chien-Ming Wang, you see velocity's been good. Sink's been good on most of the pitches. He's gotten hurt on a couple, you know, kind of sailing fastballs to two left-handed hitters. But other than that, he's thrown the ball really well.
2-2. Punched out toward left field. Another nice piece of hitting. It's a base hit. Johnny Damon fields the ball, gets it in quickly. And he holds David Murphy to a single. Nice play by Damon.
It is a big play with nobody out. Again, you see that sinker. Left-handers are starting to look for it, especially with two strikes. You're going to have to mix something up. Start throwing some sliders down and in to get them off that outside pitch because they're handling that good sinker away. That's not a bad pitch. That's just a good piece of hitting. Johnny Damon gets over there quick. It's a dangerous play because if it gets by you, then it starts rolling out there. A big play to keep him at first, especially with the sinker ball pitcher on the mound.
Foul back. Well, CC Sabathia and Phil Koch were out in the community yesterday. Went to a neighborhood barbershop here in the Bronx with a bunch of kids who got good grades in their school, and both CC and Phil served as barbers for a day. I don't know if that was a reward for the kids. CC even cut the hair of a 3-month-old, Yvonne Torres, who was there, and that was the first haircut the kid ever got.
Okay, that's kind of hard to screw up a 3-month-old kid, isn't it? A pair of clippers, you buzz it off and go on to the next, right? Talking about getting a haircut, go on down to the locker room.
Yeah, I'll have CC handle that for me.
Touch it up for you a little bit.
Fair ball right over third. It's going to kick off the stands. Johnny Damon fields, and the only play he has is at third. Nobody was covering second. So Marlon Byrd gets himself a double. Second and third, nobody out, and the Rangers are set up.
Got to see another angle here, Michael. I don't know about that one.
Well, nobody argued.
Johnny Damon was wise not to throw that to second because that would have been rolling all the way to Shera. Obviously, with a man on first, your play in left field on a sure double is to get that ball into the cutoff man.
That might have nipped the bag.
That would make sense how it was such an easy call.
Yankees have the infield back. Chris Davis at the plate. You can strike him out. He doubled those first time up. The Yankees would love one of those strikeouts. Not that time. That's ripped to right field. It's a base hit. It'll go to the wall. 2 runs will score. Davis is going to second. He's in there with a 2-run double. It's 4-1 Texas.
Again, the left-handed hitters, we talked about his dominance to righties, but I mean, again, left-handed hitters, this ball ends up out over the middle of the plate. Talked about Davis's power. He strikes out a lot, but if he gets his pitch, he hits it hard. Again, everything he's getting hit against lefties seems to be those sinker. I think you're going to have to mix in a kind of a cutter or a short slider. Try to get on their hands. Make it honest. It'll open up that outside corner for that sinker. Pretty good pitch to hit, especially to a lefty. There's not too many lefties in the game. The little league on that can't handle that ball down and in. There's the slider. You a lefty or righty, Michael?
I'm a righty.
Righty? You can handle the slider?
I really couldn't handle much, Paul. That's why I'm up here. My big fear was fear. I couldn't handle the thought of being hit with a pitch.
You were scared, in other words.
Scared's a good way to put it, yeah. Wow. I just looked at this face and said, you just don't need to have this face hit with a fastball. You just got to figure
with that. You probably had no helmet on. None of them fit, so you're up there with no helmet. Your Little League days in the Bronx.
That's right, Frogs Neck Little League. Barcliff Getty Station. Number 1, honoring Bobby Mercer. That was my number, yeah.
But that's the story, though. That's the cool thing about it, you know.
Swing and a miss.
No, again, that's a slider, and a bad one at that, a hanging slider. But again, when you're so caught into hitting a sinker off a guy that, you know, every once in a while you'll get away with a pitch, and he completely missed with that ball. Out over the plate, but the speed and the break, so much different than a good hard sinker.
So big out, and here's Elvis Andrus. Texas leads 4-1.
Like Cervelli's getting kind of the same feeling. They're just dead sitting on every sinker, and he's mixing a lot more sliders here. Last couple hitters.
Grounded to second. Cano is right there. 2 outs as Davis moves to third. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Michael, I don't know about you, but the first game when you saw the Rangers come in here and, you know, you had that little beanball thing, it just looks like the Yankees turned it on and they were just a far better team. Just beat them up. But the last couple of days, you see why Texas has been successful. I mean, they're constantly doing things to keep pressure on the defense, scoring a lot of runs that way.
Kinsler hits a hot shot, but Cano flags it down, and that'll do it. But more trouble. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left. 3.5 in the books. 4-1 Texas. To you. Pitch to Teixeira as a strike. How about this? in the booth. Paul, you gonna have some of this?
That's a good look, just like that. See that? Usually
it's like that. That one is ripped over the head of a leaping Davis and down the right field line. Teixeira motors for second, and he's in there with a leadoff double.
Again, fastball inside. He turns on it. Gets that stride going into second. High stepping. A little easy slide. Make sure you don't hurt that ankle again. McCarthy's had trouble trying to get, he doesn't have an overpowering fastball, and when he misses it all, it's been hit hard.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Hit a fly ball into a double play in the first. Slow ground ball is short. And there's one away. And for the second straight day, Alex hearing it from the crowd. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz answer. Paul's been thinking about this. Who are the two managers to manage both the Yankees and the Rangers?
Buck Showalter's one of them.
How about Billy Martin being the other?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
See, I got half of it. We're a team again, Michael.
Yes, we are. Great story between Billy Martin and Buck Showalter. Billy was managing the Yankees, and Buck was a young manager in the Yankee system. And he sat down next to Billy during a spring training game, and the pitcher that was on the mound, Buck knew. And Buck knew that the guy couldn't throw to first base. So he told Billy, you should have the guy take the lead longer. If he throws to first base, he'll throw it into right field. So Billy looked at him and said, okay. So he said to the coach, make him take a bigger lead. And the guy took a big lead. Pitcher threw into right field, and that was it. Billy loved Buck, and Buck became Billy's driver in spring training, so Billy could go out and do what he wanted to do, and Buck kept things safe. So
you know what's funny, because you say that story, and Frank Thomas, who was an unbelievable slugger, didn't throw real well either in Chicago one day. In our scouting report was late in the game, if you get picked off, make Frank Thomas throw you out at second. So what happens? Gerald Williams gets picked off. Frank Thomas launches it into left field. Pitch later, he steals third. We score a run. We win a game, and that just seems like a simple thing. But those were the, you talk about every manager you've played for that you learn certain things. Nobody, I think, prepared for the game better than anybody I ever played for than Buck Showalter. I mean, how in the world do you think of little things like that? But it came into play and it won us a game. I mean, that's almost like a little league thing. Make this guy throw it into left field, but at the big league level, it still works.
Now, there is one addendum to that answer to that trivia question. Don Zimmer managed the Rangers, and he also filled in for Joe Torre when Joe Torre was coming back from the prostate cancer surgery. So he was actually the manager of the Yankees for a while in a fill-in role for Joe. Ground ball to second. Kinsler's there. There's two away as Teixeira moves to third. Remember Buck, you said he was so prepared. There'd be a night game, and he would sleep in the manager's office because he would watch the game over and over again to try to pick something up. And I once asked him, I said, what do you think that does? I mean, how many wins do you think that gets you a year? He goes, well, if it gets me one or two, I'm happy. I said, is it worth it? He goes, yeah, you can win a pennant by 1 or 2 games.
I heard the stories, so you're validating the stories that they're true. He used to sleep in his office sometimes.
All the time.
Now, see, I used to think that about Lou Piniella once in a while when I walked into Cincinnati after a tough loss, and I'd look at him and think, man, this guy doesn't look like he's left the place. So, I don't know if he slept there, if he just forgot to go home.
Yeah, Buck actually, in the middle of his run as Yankee manager, had a bed put in his office so that he didn't get backache sleeping on the couch.
New stadium, probably call the concierge and get a cot delivered anytime you want, right? Along with room service.
As long as you have a pass. Although you solved that whole thing, I've seen you walking around with free stuff people are giving you the last couple of days.
A lot of friends around here.
It's unbelievable. I mean, your whole family had these great windbreakers. Nobody gives me anything. It's amazing. You're here like 30 games a year.
That's why I see you took advantage of it with that big schedule of yours,
2-1 is outside. 3-1. Bottom of the fourth inning, it's 4-1 Rangers. You've got Teixeira at third with 2 men out. And the pitch. And Matsui walks. That's going to bring up Melky as a tying run.
You know, it's funny, if you're Ron Washington, the Texas manager, you don't really have a feel yet if Brandon McCarthy has got a, you know, if he's going to be able to shut this offense down. I mean, you look up, you got a 4-run lead, but it seems like there's something missing. He hasn't shown, like Feldman did last night, that he can get huge outs when he needs them. But, you know, you hope if you're the manager that he can make his pitches in this situation. But it's still kind of up in the air whether, you know, this guy's going to be able to shut down the Yankee offense today.
Pitching coach Mike Maddox. Grounded foul. Since coming back from the shoulder bruise, Melky's 2 for 20, or check that, 2 for 12 with the strikeout in the second. Against McCarthy, he's 3 for 4. Lifetime, 2 of the 3 home runs. And the 0-2. Trying to pull an outside pitch right back to the mound. And that's going to do it. The Yankee offense is sputtering for the second day in a row. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. 4 in the books. 4-1 Texas. Fifth here at Yankee Stadium, and the Rangers lead 4-1. Chien-Ming Wang back in the rotation. The Lexus scoreboard 4-6-1, beating 1-3-0. And Michael Young digs in. Pitch low, 1-0. That was pitch number 61 for Wang, and as we've been telling you throughout the day, he's at an 80 pitch limit. Count 2-0. There's that slider he drops in for a strike.
You know, that's the only thing I see. I mean, if you watch that pitch there, you know, it didn't have a sharp break on it. Now, he's throwing a good sinker today, but you're going to have somewhat of a slider to keep good hitters off that sinker. I mean, if you have a great sinker every time you go out, chances are you're going to be successful. But you see that down and out, down and low. But you're going to have to have a good enough slider day in and day out to keep those good hitters off your sinker. And so far, he's had a pretty good sinker, but he hasn't had a good enough slider to strike out righties and to get out lefties inside.
Chop toward third. Alex Rodriguez gets Young. One away. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees.
I mean, you're watching Alex Rodriguez make that play, and it comes to mind, do you think he considers himself a third baseman or just still a shortstop that has been moved to third base because of Jeter?
Wow. I think he considers himself a third baseman. He's accepted it, but I think in his soul he's probably still a shortstop. But the third baseman just makes the play on Blaylock 2 away.
Because I kind of went through a similar thing when I came here when Danny Tartabull was in right field. I mean, I worked and worked and played left field, but you never feel as comfortable, see, off the end of the bat, as we're talking about. I'm sure you're going to hit a ball to him, right? But it wasn't one day when I went back to right field, I felt so much more comfortable, like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
But you only played left for 1 year, right?
Right.
This is his 6th year at third, so I think he's probably cleansed it. Count 1-0. Cruz is 0 for 2. There's that slider.
An off-speed pitch. And on the other side of the coin, I mean, with the Rangers, Michael Young, they've moved him a couple times, right?
Second, short, now third.
Here's a guy, you know, a 10-year veteran in the major leagues, a good, solid player. Plays all the positions well, but, I mean, he's been moved a couple times. Andrus, defensively, really good.
And that, I think, is even tougher because you get moved within your own team. Alex Rodriguez, the only way he could facilitate the trade to the Yankees was he had to agree to move to third base. It wasn't as if the Texas Rangers said, okay, now you're moving from short to third. Although that did happen with Cal Ripken Jr. with the Orioles. And also, Alex might be too big now to play shortstop. Deep to left center field. Giving chase is Melky Cabrera. Looking up. See ya. Home run into the Ranger bullpen for Nelson Cruz, and it's 5-1 Texas. Well, he crushed that one for his 16th home run of the year.
I'll tell you what, every once in a while you just do a series where one or two guys really impress you as players. And in this series, Michael, I think between you and I both see great things from Cruz. And you just see the pitch selection there. That ball, off-speed pitch, just hung right out over the plate. You knew Cruz's reaction. There wasn't going to be a play on it. I mean, last series I did here was Minnesota, and you had two guys that series with Morneau and Mauer. But here, again, just absolutely dead center of the bat, the plate, the glove, everything.
Well, that is going to be it before Chin-Ming Wang. So he goes 4 2/3. He gives up 5 runs and turns it over to Alfredo Aceves. Stay where you are. guarantee. Your world delivered. And Alfredo Aceves takes over for Chin-Ming Wang. Foul back. A home run to Nelson Cruz. His first home run, Wang this is, to a right-handed batter in 21 starts. And Chin-Ming Wang, in his first start in over a month, not that great. 4 2/3, 7 hits. He looked great in the first 2 innings. And now you have to wonder, Paul, what about his confidence?
Yeah, you could tell early in the game he felt real good about things. He was going after people, and he just had that hard downward action on that sinker. And as the game went on, I don't think he ever found his good sharp slider, and that sinker kind of started to flatten out, get up in the zone a little bit. Just goes to show you, I mean, at the big league level, I mean, if you miss by a little, you're going to get hurt.
By a lot.
Look at that. I mean, that's just all upper body strength there. I mean, he didn't even step. You watch that front foot. If you watch that replay again, most guys step in the ball to kind of load into it. He's got so much strength. Just kind of holds that position on his toe and just absolutely kills the ball.
Cruz is having a good season. Josh Hamilton, who was back in Texas, now back with the team. He's on the DL now. And they're hoping that what he has is not a sports hernia. He could be out for 2 months if that's the case.
You see him sitting there talking to Josh Hamilton. It was always a funny thing when a good player, you know, a good offensive player was hurt. You'd always kind of go over there and jokingly say, hey, can I have your hits? You're not using them now. Or can I have your home runs or whatever? And kind of double up on things, you know.
Runner goes. Throw to second. It goes into right center field. That's going to be an error on Cervelli. So a stolen base for Murphy. And he moves to third on the E2. Throw kept tailing.
Well, a lot of times you'll see scouts come into series, and one thing they're going to leave with, the Texas Rangers have run the bases and have stolen bases against the Yankees. And you know, this is something that they're going to have to prove and stop, or you're going to start seeing it more and more.
And the pitch to Berg. Inside.
You know, you would think of Tampa Bay is probably in there scouting this series, and you know they've got guys that can run the bases. So you know these are things that are funny. If you have a good offensive series, you're usually pitched differently from scouts in the stands and things. You've got to know who's watching you.
And Aceves comes in and walks too, and that's not like him. Here's Dave Island. I'm wondering, Paul, when you hit a home run, right, does the ball smell differently because it landed in the bullpen and they're all sniffing it?
Maybe got some.
Now they take it inside and they continue to sniff.
In it or something. I don't know.
There's some more sniffing. Now let me take a sniff. I mean, what is that?
Huh?
Could he have smoked the ball that hard that it just smells like it's burning?
Can't figure that one out either.
Another sniff?
Maybe there's a flat spot on it or something.
Wow.
I don't know. What a great swing.
We talked about Ted Williams earlier, and he used to smell the bat.
No, I did
a foul tip.
Foul ball, that's there's no doubt. And you smell the friction. It smells like burning wood because of the friction of the baseball off the bat.
Here's Chris Davis. And Aceves gets him to pop up. Shallow center. Ramiro Pena will make the play, and that'll do it. But Chin-Ming Wang is knocked out of the game with Nelson Cruz home run. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. The end of 4.5, we're halfway through. 5-1 Texas. A 5-1 hole that to climb out of. Francisco Cervelli will lead off, and he fouls it back. Cervelli struck out looking. That was in the second on the Lexus scoreboard. 5-7-1 is leading 1-3-1. Line drive, base hit for Cervelli.
A little hanging breaking ball. Cervelli stays back behind the ball. Drives it back up the middle.
Now here's Ramiro Pena. Ramiro is now 2 for his last 21. Young player, hasn't been playing that much. Sometimes it's hard to keep your swing. It's hard for a veteran, let alone a youngster.
Very hard to, mentally and emotionally when you're used to playing every single day in the minor leagues. You get up here and it's, you think you can deal with it, and especially right when you come up, you get a lot of playing time. It's a huge adjustment. He's such a nice kid, though. You'll see him around the cage. I mean, he doesn't show that he's frustrated. He's always got a smile on his face. One of those guys we talked about, Cervelli, that just looks like he's happy to be here and happy to be a part of what's going on. Here's another guy that looks like he enjoys putting on the uniform at the Major League level.
And that one's dunked in front of Bird for a single. So successive singles to open up the 5th inning. First and second, nobody on. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees.
And again, I talked about it a little bit last inning. McCarthy, you just don't get the feeling that he's got everything working where, he might have a big inning, but, Texas, their offense keeps tacking on runs. You're going to have to take some of these opportunities and get back in this game before Texas has another big inning on you.
Johnny Damon, the Yankees' only run, he led off the first inning with a home run. That's outside, 2-0.
You see, that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So you think a guy who throws 90 without a lot of sinks got to be pretty perfect with his fastball. Mix in his off-speed stuff. He's hung a couple breaking balls, but he's made some pitches today. And you see, runners in scoring position. He's made a couple big pitches when he had to.
Now he's got himself in a real hole. First and second, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th, a 3-0 count on Johnny Damon. We mentioned in the first inning, Damon went yard. His 11th home run of the year and his 33rd ribby. Do the Yankees green light Damon on 3-0? Do they make McCarthy throw a strike? They make him throw a strike, 3-1. And it's 3-2. .68 pitches for McCarthy, 45 strikes.
Again, pretty good fastball on the outside corner. Big pitch here for both teams, really.
And it's outside. So Damon walks and the bases are loaded, nobody out. Here comes Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. So it's starting to unravel for McCarthy. Can he stop it, though, before it becomes something serious? And Nick Swisher's up. Then after that, you've got Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez.
And I think as a pitcher here, you really got to challenge yourself to say, okay, I'm in this mess. I've got nothing out, no outs. Can I get out of this inning with just giving up a run or possibly 2 to keep this lead? Don't allow the Yankees offense with the meat of the order coming up right now, to tie this game up and have a huge inning or go ahead.
Four grand slams for Swisher, just under a 300 batting average with the bases loaded. Weak hack there.
Again, you talk about the things that McCarthy's going to have to do to get some of these hitters out, and it's change speeds, and that's a good change up there.
Missed inside. And the count 1-1. And Teixeira is on deck.
A lot of times when you're on deck, you start to get a feel of what the pitcher's going to, and he'd thrown 3 consecutive fastballs to Johnny Damon and start you out with a changeup. Another one.
Bases loaded this year. Swisher's 1 for 6 with 5 runs batted in. Jason Jennings begins to throw.
This is the problem with pitching coach. It'll drive you crazy. As you see a guy who's in a rhythm, pitching pretty well, and all of a sudden, you know, you get in trouble and everything starts slowing down. You start thinking a little bit too much. Good pitch there. You know, that's a pitch right there that you have to hit your spot. He came in, you know, behind in the count with a fastball. If you get that ball out over the plate, you're going to get hurt. But this ball's right on the inside corner. Believe me, Michael, that hurts when you foul that ball. There's something about that shin guard that it never hits. It hits behind it, actually hit him in the calf.
That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Cervelli at third, Pena at second, Damon is at first. Bases loaded with the Yankees, nobody out. They try to get back in this game. They trail 5-1, bottom of the 5th. The tall, lean right-hander deals. Just got a piece to stay alive.
He did. He got the slow curveball there. He's seen a couple change-ups. He's seen a fastball in, and he got the slow curveball. Now, here's a big decision as a catcher. You know, the hitter in this count has seen everything you have to offer as a pitcher. You double up on something, or you completely go away from the way you pitched him in the first part of the at-bat.
Missed inside. And this is the 48th full count of the year for Nick Swisher. Crowd getting loud, crowd getting into it. And the 3-2. He walked him. That forces in a run. Just missed outside. Coming home with Cervelli. And Texas now leads 5-2, and the tying runs are now on base for the Yanks.
Again, you see the pitch by pitch. You saw a good changeup there. And he just missed fastball in. Another changeup missed away. Best pitch of the at-bat right there for the pitcher. Good fastball in. Good piece of hitting by Swisher. He goes back to the changeup or curveball, missed. 3-2, you're looking for a guy fishing. Swisher good enough to lay off of it.
And the pitch to Teixeira is a strike. Teixeira reached on an E7 in the first inning and then rifled a double over the head of Chris Davis at first base in the 4th. What does it mean to have a guy hitting behind you? Check this out, Paul. Coming into the game, Teixeira with A-Rod on deck. In their short time together in Texas and here, a 348 hitter and 138 at-bats. With Vladimir Guerrero on deck, a 378 hitter and 148 at-bats. Protection is so important. Squibbed out toward third. It's under the glove of Young, and it rolls down the left field line. Pena scores. Damon scores. Here comes Swisher. Here's the throw. He scores. It's a tie game. A 3-run double for Mark Teixeira. 5-5.
He threw a changeup away, and Teixeira didn't have his best swing and surely didn't hit it as hard as some of his 3-run homers. But got the same outcome. Every once in a while, you get a squibber down there, and the spin of that ball is hard to read for Michael Young. As a pitcher, you're hoping that somehow he knocks the ball down, but it gets by him. Ends up costing you 3 runs.
Well, Ron Washington's seen enough. 3 more ribbies for Teixeira, 47 on the year. That's the end of the day for Brandon McCarthy. Teixeira is his responsibility, so he cannot win the game, but he can lose it. Nick Swisher's pumped. So is the entire stadium. We'll be back with more baseball in a moment. K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. WB Mason, who bought? So the Yankees have come back with 4 runs in the 5th to tie it, still batting. Jason Jennings on the mound in relief, 16 games, 2-1, 3.52, less than a hit per inning, 14 strikeouts, 10 walks. There's still nobody out. And here's A-Rod against Jennings.
You know, it's funny, but the last couple innings, you just had this feeling. I mean, Brandon McCarthy's had a good year. He's got 5 wins, but you just didn't feel like he had control of this game, even with a 5-1 lead. And, you know, he had, previous to that, they were 0 for 6 with men in scoring position. All of a sudden, it was 1 big hit away. And the next thing you know, you look at the scoreboard, and it's 5-5.
Now, if you're Brandon McCarthy and you want to spin it and go, well, that really wasn't a big-time hit. Well, you know what? What you did before is what set up the trouble, and why you pay for a rare mistake like that and a lucky hit, so to speak. Everything else was legitimate rolling up to that. Fouled away.
Yeah, and if you look at it, and this is no knock to Cervelli, or no knock to Pena, but those are the guys that you've got to get out from the opposing pitcher's standpoint, because you're going to have to deal with A-Rod. You're going to have to deal with Teixeira. So you give up back-to-back single to those guys, it almost starts a fire that you know you're not going to be able to put out.
Driven down the right field line, giving chase is Cruz. He can't get there. It's up against the wall. Scoring is Teixeira. A-Rod will stay at first with an RBI single, and the Yankees have come all the way back to take a 6-5 lead.
This might be one of the most important hits you'll see in A-Rod lately, because he took it the other way, and he's been pulling the ball so much. That's the pitch, down and away. Even as a power hitter, you've got to shoot the other way, especially with men in scoring position. Now in your mind, you tell yourself, you know, I can do this. And before you know it, he'll start driving those home runs out to right center. And that's when an A-Rod is very dangerous.
For Alex, his 22nd run batted in, and gives the Yankees a 6-5 lead. Here's Cano. And he thought about bunting. Takes pitch outside, 1-0. Still nobody out. Robbie today has lined out to first and grounded to second. Each of those outs with runners in scoring position. A-Rod does not have much of a lead as McCarthy, check that, Jennings keeps throwing over. Outside. Well, this is just the second time this year, a third of the way through the season, that Brandon McCarthy has given up more than 4 runs in a game. He stands to lose this game if the Rangers don't come back, because Teixeira was his responsibility, and Teixeira was the 6th run. Line drive, base hit over the leaping try of Michael Young. And the onslaught continues. First and second, still nobody out. Now to bring the pitching coach Mike Maddox out to the mound again.
And Robbie Cano, this is the sinker that the Texas players have hit off Wong all day. Well, again, left-handed hitters, if you can cover that sinker down and away, makes hitting those right-handers a lot easier. Michael Young's had a tough inning. It seems like everything's just out of his reach, whether it's a squibber down the line or a line drive in the hole.
Not often the 8th batter comes to the plate, and still no one has been retired. A big outburst inning by the Yankees. Yesterday, their bats slumbered. Today, for 4 innings again. There's a strike. You've got Alex Rodriguez at second and Robinson Cano at first. Rodriguez checking the outfielders to see what type of base hit would score him. Hot shot right to Kinsler. They get a double play. A-Rod didn't check Kinsler as he gets doubled up 4-6.
We talked about it last night on a play at first base. What your natural reaction as a runner, you almost have to go against what you feel. As soon as that ball's hit, you freeze. You got to be going back. As a base runner, it's, you know, again, you're trying to score on a run. It's so easy to get picked off on that ball.
So now a runner on first with 2 outs. Melky Cabrera, the 9th batter to come to the plate.
The Yankees one hitter from batting around in this inning, and when you do that, it usually means good things offensively, Mike. All of a sudden you look up, you're taking the lead, and you started the inning down 5-1. Yankees have been good in this series about having those big innings. Last night they got shut down a little bit at the first night. They threw up a 7 spot in the 4th.
Count 1-1. Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second. Not in time. Ball was dropped by Andres. So Cano puts himself in scoring position with a stolen base.
And high pitch, good pitch to throw on. Looked like he tried to rush it a little bit. Robbie had a good jump.
Third stolen base of the year for Cano. 2-1. Dribbled slowly towards second. Kinsler. And that'll do it. But the Yankees take the lead. They score 5 runs. The big blows, bases loaded, nobody out. Now Mark Teixeira's at the plate against Brandon McCarthy. He has a double and he drives in 3. And then Alex Rodriguez. The hook. And Alfredo Aceves could pick up a win as the Yankees lead 6-5. We go to the 6th inning. And the pitch to Teagarden is a strike. Alex Rodriguez picked up the go-ahead single, and Paul mentioned, and it's a real good point. Yeah, it's important because he drove in a run, but it's so much more important because the type of hit it was, taking the ball the other way. He still hasn't gotten that part of his swing down. A-Rod with a tough hop. Seen a lot of action over at third, 1 away. A-Rod's going to move into the managerial seat on Saturday, and you see him take that tough hop into the breadbasket. He's going to manage a group of 11 and 12-year-old kids from the Bronx against a group of kids from Manhattan that are going to be managed by the actor Richard Gere. And the game's going to be played at Franz Siegel Park in the Bronx.
Richard Gere was in here a couple weeks ago.
Big Yankee fan.
Yeah.
Here's Elvis Andrus. Looks bunt.
Checking you out, man. Double barrel.
That first pitch, they say that he offered, so it was called a strike. So now the count is, well, now they're changing it to 1-1. So they didn't say he offered. Another bunt attempt, but he pulled back. So now the count 2-1. Oh, was Alfredo Aceves getting grief today during batting practice? They had a video of him on Yankees On Demand on the scoreboard serenading. Is it his girlfriend or his wife? Serenading his wife at a restaurant with a guitar.
Those things don't go over real well in the locker room.
And I mean, you look at the scoreboard out in center field. I mean, it's a small city, so he's on there singing, strumming his guitar, and Robinson Cano and Melky Cabrera are screaming up to the scoreboard.
You got to make sure you do those things in the off season when nobody's around, you know.
And it was some sort of love song too. It was,
really?
Yeah.
I guarantee you didn't know the words of that one.
Well, first of all, he was singing in Spanish, so I didn't really know. Second of all, I pretty much wouldn't have known anyway, even if it was English. But I mean, they were actually looking up and screaming. It was only in the ballpark at that point. Up at the booth and saying, "Take that off."
There's always something that comes out as a player, you know, that somebody else finds out about that's going on in your personal life, and is like, oh no, why did this have to come out now, you know? Let alone on a 2-story scoreboard at the new Yankee Stadium, right?
And the 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3, whispered across the inside corner. Andres down looking.
You said it, Michael. It was a good curveball. Ends up right on the inside corner. See the knuckle, kind of like Mike Mussina used to throw. Bring it up, kind of push forward, dig it in on that seam.
You got that eye black on it in an interesting manner, almost like an Alice Cooper situation. High fly ball to left, be a foul ball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday matinee, as the Yankees have come back from a 5-1 deficit with a 5-run fifth to take a 6-5 lead. That one's driven deep to left. It's a fair ball. It's a tie game. It's off the foul pole. It's a tie game. High off the foul pole to left field. It's 6-6. Fourteenth home run for Kinsler from the leadoff spot.
And I'll tell you what, he's been swinging for it all day. He doesn't get cheated. He looks for that ball, especially early in the count. This ball hangs out over the plate exactly where he's looking, to where he can hook it out of here. You just hesitate. You got to talk to it, kind of lean. Anything you can do to try to keep that thing fair, right off the foul pole.
I'll tell you what, Paul, so high off the foul pole, that definitely makes the second deck out there.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, look how high off the foul pole it is.
Oh, the second deck, not the upper deck.
No, the second deck.
Okay.
Well, the Yankees definitely think someone's reaching the, I guess it would be the fourth deck. Well, yeah, the fourth deck out in right field, and they think it's going to be Mark Teixeira. I don't know about left. That'll be tough. Hot shot, and off the glove of a leaping Pena in the left field for a base hit.
I'll tell you one thing, Michael. Here we look up here, and the bats are awake today on both sides. Both teams slugging it out. Last night you saw two good pitching performances late in the game. Well, today you're just seeing guys come up ready to hit. Both teams in their bullpen. Pena does all he can. I'm sure Jeter will remind him after the game that he's got no vertical jump.
And Jeter's taller and probably makes that play. Yankees have a very experienced bench today.
Yeah.
You could pull Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada off the bench to pinch hit. Jorge with the day off behind the plate. Day game after a night game. Now, Paul, you lasted 6 innings and decided to go burger and cookie. Why about now? What's going on?
I just went in there and looked around. There wasn't much to offer. They're kind of cleaning up a little bit, so I kind of grabbed the last one just to make sure that I got through the game.
You're starting to lose a little bit. Long game, right?
No. Just every once in a while, the options aren't there. You know? Young was leaning there, actually. Again, Texas has tried to use running as part of their game and their offense this series.
Here's Paul's snack right there, the 2 bites.
That was a whole hamburger till you sat next to that.
I didn't have anything to do with that. What kind of cookie is this?
I don't know. That's a variable. There's a lot of unknowns in there.
Missed outside 2-2. Phil Koch will begin to throw. High fly ball, right field. Swisher is there, and he puts it away for the final out of the 6th. But the Rangers tie the score. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Ian Kinsler goes right down the line and right off the pole. Makes it a 6-6 game. Francisco Cervelli leads out the bottom of the 6th and takes a pitch low from Jennings. 1-0. Cervelli started off the Yankees 5-run 5th with a single to left. It's a 6-6 game, 6-9-1 for Texas, 6-8-1 for the Yankees. Fouled away. Cervelli was hitting under 200 at Double-A when he was called up. He's hitting 295 in the big leagues. So try to predict things and try to figure things out.
Didn't want to waste him.
Yes.
Didn't want to waste him in the minor leagues when you can break him in Yankee Stadium. Right?
Well, 2 catchers had to go down for him to even think about being called up, and that's exactly what happened. That one's driven to center field. Bird is there. Pretty much in dead center. He puts it away for the first out. Hey, it's time for another look at today's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question was, which team will have the best record in the American League this year? You've been texting us at 58772, and here are the results. overwhelming, Paul.
I was just going to, how big was the deficit? And you see, it's up there.
And the Red Sox are second. Right now, the Rangers have the best record. The Yankees are right behind. But if the Yankees win this game, they move ahead. Pitch to Pena is low. Yesterday's Yankee loss coupled with a Red Sox win, the Red Sox and the Yankees are tied for first. I have a feeling there's going to be that dance all year between those two teams. Chien-Ming Wang got the start today, didn't get out of the fifth inning, and before the game, Joe Girardi was asked, well, what if Chien-Ming Wang doesn't pitch well? His next scheduled start would be against the Red Sox. Would you still have him make that start? And he said, boy, I'd hate to tell a pitcher that he's auditioning, and if he doesn't pitch well, he's not going to make his next start. He said, Andy Pettitte had a bad start last night. Did I tell him he's not going to be back in the rotation? I understand what Joe's saying, but also this is becoming a little bit of a trend now with Chien-Ming Wang. So I think he's going to make that start against the Red Sox, but I think there's going to be a lot of people holding their breath.
You get the feeling that a start against the Red Sox is almost like it counts 2 times as much. So if you do well, you're really in good standing. If you do bad, then it almost is double against you.
Well, it means a lot because not only is it mean double in the division, but just psychologically it means a lot too. Hey fans, now's your chance to own a piece of history from the original Yankee Stadium seats and other memorabilia. Now on sale at Yankees.com. All memorabilia comes with a Yankee Steiner letter of authenticity. In a second, we'll give you the information on how you can look into this. Pitch to Damon's outside. For more information and to purchase original Yankee Stadium seats and other memorabilia, visit Yankees.com today and click the shop tab. Damon 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. Popped up third base side. Young gives it a look. It's in the stands. You know, we've been talking about eye black a lot today. I failed to even ask you, what exactly does that do?
It's supposed to, I mean, the reflection off the field is supposed to absorb a little bit of the glare is what it is. It's
so the glare will hit off your cheekbones?
More so than in your eye, I guess. It absorbs some of the glare, supposedly. And some people really believe in it. Some people just kind of look cool. And Mattingly looked cool in it, you know, didn't he? He used to just look good with it. And Tino used to wear it all the time, too. But I never noticed a big difference.
But you did wear the stick-on ones at the end.
A couple of times, just for like BP, you know,
just to look cool,
just to see if it worked. Now that's double there. You got the glare and the glasses. That's new pop culture out there.
Popped up again. This one's in play. Michael Young with a second out.
There was something to do, and somebody explained it years ago to me, and I've kind of forgotten, but the underside of the cap was gray for a reason, and it helped to do something with the glare, and you see better. And if you take your hat off, there is more glare, so the hat actually helps. But there was a reason why the under part of the bill was gray. You look confused over there, Michael.
Because I'm remembering some of the hats had green on the underside too.
Way back.
Way back, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about helmets now. We're talking about the hats.
Did you keep one hat the whole year?
Yeah. You know what? I went from spring training to the All-Star break, and the All-Star break, hopefully to the end of the World Series. That's how it went.
Wouldn't it be pretty gamey though?
It just, it got dirty, and it got this left-handers kind of wear their hat different. I don't know what it is about it, but it always got like this thumbprint where you always put your hat in on one side. But some people changed all the time. I just got comfortable with certain things and just continue to wear it.
Michael Jordan changed the sneakers every year. Brand new pair.
I think LeBron does too,
yeah.
I heard, right?
Runner goes. Throw to second. In time. So Teagarden guns down Pena with the tag. It's applied by Andres. In the 6th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and with the caught stealing, nobody left on base. 6 in the books here at the stadium. A lot of 6s on the board. 6-6 tie. The Yankees kick off a 4-game set with the Rays right here in the Bronx. Coverage starts with batting practice today presented by Audi, and then the pregame, it's the Rays and the Yankees tomorrow starting at 6. Only on Yes. What a matchup tomorrow. Price against Sabathia. And there's a strike from Aceves to Nelson Cruz. Cruz, the last player that Chin-Ming Wang faced, he served up a long home run.
You know, there's always been an argument in the Yankee, or not really with the organization, but with the fans and the media and everything on where Jabba should be in the past couple of years. And I wonder if the Rays are having any of that down there, whether Price should stay in the bullpen as successful as he was, or, you know, is he a true starter for the rest of his career?
He just crushed that one. Boy, but you know what, Paul, if you think about it, that question you're asking, breaking ball, strike 3, Cruz down looking. That answers the question for the Jabba situation. Tampa Bay's in desperate need of a closer. Desperate. Mm-hmm. This guy closed last year, getting them to the World Series, and they're not using him as the closer. That's how important a big-time starter is. So Joe Girardi has seen enough from Alfredo Aceves, who did a good job, gave up that 1 run. Ian Kinsler's home run off the foul pole and left. So now Joe is going to signal to the bullpen for the left-hander Phil Koch. It'll be Koch against David Murphy. The score is tied at 6. We're in the 7th. Come on back to Yes. We'll be here. Yankees take on the Rays. The first 18,000 fans in attendance are going to receive a Yankees water bottle courtesy of Zales. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Phil Koch, the Yankees' third pitcher, in to face the lefty swinging David Murphy. Fastball upstairs. Texas led this one 5-1, then the Yankees took a 6-5 lead. Now it's 6-6. You see the numbers on Koch. 16 hits in 20 2/3, 9 walks and 12 strikeouts. His command has not been as sharp lately as it was earlier and last year as well.
I tell you, look at him as a left-handed reliever, and I can't get over how impressive, the left-handed reliever out of the pen for the Rangers last night. I mean, it just absolutely overpowering. 97.
C.J. Wilson?
Yeah, I'm sorry, C.J. Wilson. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, good breaking ball. Johnny Damon, I was talking to him a little bit today, just said, you have to commit so quick to that fastball that, even his slider doesn't have to be a great pitch.
There's a strike. Players always say you throw 92, 93 in the big leagues, you can catch up with it, but 98's a different animal, right?
There's something about, there's almost that line of 95 and above that just becomes, it's a time thing. I mean, your reaction time is so quick anyway, but then when you get past that 95 mile an hour, it just, as a hitter, it just happens too quick.
All right, fastest pitcher you ever faced?
Nolan Ryan.
Like, no reaction time at all?
Well, actually, the hardest guy, because he was right-handed, I saw the ball a little bit better. But I mean, I didn't hit him well because he was dominant. He just overpowered you. But Randy Johnson was the worst because he was a left-hander, and he threw 98, 99, whatever. But his delivery from the left side is so hard to pick up that it made it even seem harder. Did you say Nolan was in town? Did he come with the team?
We thought he was. We have not seen him, so I guess he's not here. Unless he's sitting in a luxury box, you can't find him. And that one got a piece of Cervelli. Got him on the side of the head, I guess, where he was not covered by the mask. And Girardi and Monahan quickly out of the dugout. Let's take a look. Oh, it got under and then right around that protective barrier.
I think it hit his shoulder and came up and then hit his ear. Ouch.
Now you see a play like that, and the hockey mask looks like a better idea than that one.
Not even in slow motion, that hurts. I mean, that's.
Might have cut him as well.
Hey, Michael, I just got a text. How was that?
I learned to put that on vibrate.
Somebody's sorry we watched that play. That's what it is.
So Cervelli hangs in there. Strike three, Murphy down looking.
You see, Cervelli took a little anger out. Did you see him throw that ball down after strike three? That's when you're still a little mad about the play before. All right, you fouled off. Get out of here.
That ear's kind of glowing. Pitch to Marlon Byrd is outside, 1-0. Took something off that pitch, count 1-1.
Good changeup.
count, 2-1. Koch has walked 5 over his last 6 1/3 innings. And he had only 4 walks over his previous 14 in the 3rd innings. So that's where it's gone wrong for him. He doesn't walk anybody this inning. He will retire the 2 Rangers that he faced. Bird flies out to Cabrera, and that's going to do it as the Rangers go down in order against 2 Yankee relievers, Alfredo Aceves and Phil Koch. At the end of 6 1/2, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Rangers and the Yankees are tied at 6, but we stay right here and honor America in the Bronx.
And we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join in as Yankee Stadium organist Ed Alstrom plays "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
One for the Yankees. Nick Swisher leads off against Jason Jennings. And the pitch is low, 1-0. Well, we looked it up, Paul, about who he had more trouble with, Nolan or Randy Johnson.
My wife just texted me. She knew.
What did she say?
She put Jesse O. I just called her. I said, what are you talking about? She said, Jesse Orozco. You couldn't hit him.
But that wasn't because of speed. That was because of that nasty breaking ball. All right, so against Nolan Ryan, you were 0 for 10, 5 strikeouts. Right. And against Randy Johnson, I guess you had Randy Johnson-itis a lot, 0 for 3.
I had a lot of walks.
With 2 strikeouts.
I just worked the walks off the unit. Oh, he's going today, right?
Yeah.
They got rained out last night. He gets to go for his 300th win today.
4:30 start.
See, my wife was right. Look at that.
Neville, you are right. Jesse Orozco held your husband to 1 for 18, but that one was a home run.
And that was the 18th at bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another guy, another specialty lefty, on the Oakland A's?
Oh, there was a whole bunch of them, Michael.
They always brought him to face you. But I think that you did really well against him. Why can't I remember his name?
Buddy Groom?
Buddy Groom.
Yeah, I got some hits off
Yeah,
of
Buddy Groom and his orchestra. And again, 49th time this year, Nick Swisher with a full count. While your numbers against Groom, sick. 12 for 18 with a home run and 9 ribbies.
See?
And they kept bringing him in.
It's funny how baseball evens out. You get nothing off some people, and then you hit other guys.
You're like Groom mates.
Oh, come on. It's getting late here.
3-2. Line drive. Base hit. Marlon Byrd gets the ball in, and Nick Swisher with a leadoff single here in the 7th. Let's take a look now at the play of the game brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. It took place in the 5th inning.
Well, Mark Teixeira hit one off the end of the bat, but somehow it found its way into the left field corner for a 3-run double.
And that's the kind of smile you have after that type of hit.
Let me remind you, though, the play of the game in my mind still might be out there. Tie game in the 7th.
Now they send a pinch runner out, and that's Brett Gardner. So obviously Brett is a threat to steal. But there's one danger with this, Paul, and if you're a manager, arguably your best hitter so far this year, Mark Teixeira's at the plate. Do you want Gardner to steal and then you lose Teixeira's bat?
Well, you got to remember the A-Rod's behind him. I mean, you figure if you get a guy on second and third, or second and move him over to third, you're going to score a run. You're so late in the game, especially with Mariano Rivera for the 9th, that one run can win this game for you. You're not looking for a big inning here. Obviously, if you get it, it's great. Right now, you're just trying to somehow scratch a run out and try to win this game.
So you're cool about them walking Teixeira?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that this is a team where, one or two guys is your whole offense. This team lately in the last 20 games, why they've been so successful is because up and down this lineup, everybody's hitting. And I think big hits have come all the way up and down the lineup.
In his career, Gardner, 27 stolen base attempts, successful 24 times. Nice lead. And that could be a double play. There's one. On the first, it's a double play. So he didn't go, and Teixeira kind of turned over a ball and wrapped into 4-6-3.
And you're right, Michael. If in hindsight you put in a pinch runner, you'd love to see him use his strength, but you don't want to just take off on every pitch when you're a pinch runner. You know that they're looking at you.
So Teixeira now 2 for 4. Here's Alex Rodriguez, 1 for 3. And that one's low and away, 1-0.
If you break this series down, it's really how it should be. You got the best two teams record-wise in the American League. They've split the first 2 games. You're a tie game in the 7th inning. So, it's a battle of 2 of the better teams in the American League right now.
Ball fouled off, count 1-1.
Did you look at it that way, Michael?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you didn't break it down for him.
Well, that's what you're here for. You're the break it down guy. I'm just the ball 1, ball 2 guy.
You do that well.
Thank you.
I'm glad I know the count.
It's 1-1 on A-Rod. Jennings deals. Now it's 2-1.
Let me ask you something, Mike. You keep that in your head. If I drew lines over this, would you still be able to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll just look at the one on the scoreboard. Yeah. The 2-1. There's a strike.
Good sliding. Again, Alex Rodriguez, we saw him shoot one to right field last at bat. He's really got to, in his mind, go that way and not get that tendency to try to win this game by pulling off a pitch and trying to drive a home run. He doesn't need to pull the ball to hit it out of this park.
2-2. 3-2. Phil Hughes in his new home out in the bullpen. When Joe Girardi brought up Phil moving to the bullpen, he said, I'll do anything to stay up here rather than start in the minor leagues. That one's fouled away. Crowd of 45,713 here at the stadium as the Yankees continue to average more fans per game than any team in baseball. Three-two. Grounded to short. Andrus is there. And that's going to do it here in the seventh inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. And because of the double play, nobody left on base. We go to the eighth. It's going to be Phil Koch starting off against Chris Davis. Gordon Damer tossed to the team in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. Still a long way to go as we go to the eighth inning. It's 6-6. Bottom of the order for the Rangers against Phil Koch. And the pitch to Davis is outside 1-0. Good fastball. 1-1. Davis doubled in the third and the fourth, and then popped to short. That's the P6 there in the fifth.
He's one hit away from that magical number, Michael. 199.
The Mendoza line.
It's a long fight back when you start off like that.
Jorge out in the bullpen. David Robertson beginning to throw. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He stays under 200. Hey fans, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the two of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Today's candidates are number 1, Chris Davis, number 2, Mark Teixeira, number 3, Johnny Damon, and number 4, Ian Kinsler. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Taylor Teagarden. And the pitch outside.
I'll tell you what, the catching tandem for the Rangers, I think they've used every letter in the alphabet. Huh?
Those are long catchers' names, Saltalamacchia and Teagarden. Right back to Koch. 2 away.
For Phil Koch, luckily, I think this ball was hit off the end of the bat, which takes a lot of the speed off of it. But still, don't have much reaction time from a pitcher, because by the time the ball gets you, you've delivered the ball, you're what, 50, 52 feet away?
Shattered the bat and got the out. So a double whammy for Teagarden. That'll bring up Elvis Andrus. 0 for 3. And Girardi was just waiting for Robertson to get more throws in. So he's going to take a slow walk out to the mound. Hasn't signaled yet, but certainly has that walk. And now he does signal for the right-hander, David Robertson. So Koch came on, faced 4 batters, struck out 2 of them, recorded 4 outs. So he does a good job. He departs. And coming in from the bullpen, David Robertson. You come on back. Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Plus, get a look ahead to the big series next week against the Red Sox and the Mets. It's the Joe Girardi Show. New Sunday at 5, only on Yes. Joe's been in a good mood for those shows.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Winning takes care of a lot, doesn't it?
Everything. Everybody's in a better mood. David Robertson, 10 games, a 2.16 ERA, 5 hits and 8 1/3. 11 strikeouts, good fastball, good curve. So he's going to face the rookie shortstop, Elvis Andrus. That one's driven deep to left field. Damon's back. He's there. 1 pitch, 1 out, and Robertson retires Andrus. Well, the Rangers go down in order 1, 2, 3 against Koch and Robertson. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 6-6 tie.
gave them a lead early, which they lost. Fought back, took the lead, and now we're tied. They gave you a lot of information in that.
You really did. You just didn't give the drive of the game. You gave a lot of stuff.
Did you take it all in?
Oh, I did. Here's C.J. Wilson now. It's going to be interesting to see, can he have that same velocity back-to-back days? And this is a day game, so it wasn't even a full rest. He was throwing 98 last night on the corners. And he's throwing 94 there, swing and a miss. 27 pitches last night for C.J. Wilson. 14 strikeouts, hard to believe, Paul, and 22 and a third with that kind of stuff. Cano 1 for 3. Served a single over the head of Young his last time up. That was in the 5th. Count 2-1 now. Without Posada in the lineup, you've got these two lefties stacked. That's why it's a perfect time to bring in C.J. Wilson. You've got Cano and Matsui. Cabrera is a switch hitter. He's up third. Count now 3-1. Unlike most relievers who work from the stretch all the time, without a runner on base, C.J. Wilson's going from the full windup. And now he'll work out of the stretch as he walks Robinson Cano on 5 pitches. Here's Hideki Matsui. 0 for 2 with a walk. Each team with the identical line, 6-9 and 1. And that one moves Matsui up the plate. Have you noticed one thing, Paul? His velocity's down 3 to 4 miles an hour.
It is down, and he's pitching behind too. And you're right. I mean, from last night till today, I mean, that's not a lot of rest. Especially, I mean, he had some big at bats last night, throwing 97, 98 miles an hour.
High fly ball center field. Bird, well, having trouble with the sky right now. He puts it away for the first out.
It's hard to believe a few years ago they were kind of messing with Wilson, trying to make him just a left-handed specialty guy, had him throwing sidearm. I mean, here's a guy like we've been over that kind of velocity from the left-hand side you don't see very often. Now he's kind of back to his natural motion. He's had a great year for them in the pen.
Here's Melky Cabrera, switch hitter, batting from the right side. And a strike. Checked his swing. Did he go? No, said Dana Demuth. After the 6th inning, Melky becomes a better hitter so far this year, hitting .339, a home run, and 11 ribbies. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back, Murphy on the track. He leaps. See ya! A 2-run home run for Melky Cabrera, and the Yankees lead 8-6. He has been Mr. Clutch all year, and it continues this afternoon.
Melky Cabrera had a couple bad at bats from the left side, but he gets a bat from the right side. You see those eyes getting bigger and bigger as he goes down the first baseline. big home run. I think, Michael, I still think that he's got something to prove when he feels like, you know, he battled for that job, and now he's getting an opportunity to play. Having a great year for the New York Yankees.
Cabrera now has 22 ribbies. 13 of them have come in the 7th inning or later. And his 6th home run of the year, all of them here at the new Yankee Stadium. That one made the first row of seats just over the leaping try of David Murphy. Looked like he got a changeup, I guess.
It gets that bullpen going too. You see Mariano out there warming up.
And Francisco Cervelli hits one to left field. Murphy is there, and that's the second out.
Yeah, it looked like a little slider. It didn't quite get inside. Off-speed pitch. Right in Melky's wheelhouse. Got it in the first row, as you said, Michael. That's enough. Look at this. See? Sometimes some things in the game bring out the little kids in us, huh?
These guys are really enjoying each other's company. I know that's sometimes overblown, but they really seem like they get along. Pena fouls it away. That was Cabrera's 6th go-ahead hit of the year. Foul back here. So the Yankees trail 5-1 going into the bottom of the 5th inning, but 5 in the 5th, and now 2 here in the 8th, and they lead 8-6 over the Rangers in the rubber game of this 3-game set. As Ramiro Pena swings and misses, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get it done against C.J. Wilson a night after they couldn't. A walk to Cano, and then Melky Cabrera goes deep. Not that deep, but deep enough. 2-run home run. Yankees need 8-6. Last licks coming up from Texas. Chevy player of the game is voted on by you, the fans, and the 2 of us here in the booth. And you said it, Paul. It wasn't going to happen until later.
That's right. Player of the game just happened. Melky Cabrera gets a slider that doesn't quite get in on him. And that's the one you got to kind of wait for. But big 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th gives Mariano Rivera a chance to come in here and close the door on this series.
It's not going to be an easy save for Mo. He faces the top of the Ranger order. It's Kinsler, Young, and Blaylock after that. Nelson, Cruz. So the Yankees lead this one 8-6 on Melky's 2-run home run. C.J. Wilson can get the loss, and David Robertson could get the win for the Yankees. Yankees are 4-1 this year in rubber games. Mariano trying to pick up his 12th save. Less than a hit per inning, more than a strikeout per inning, 1 walk. And the pitch to Kinsler. Inside. 1-0.
More than I've ever seen Mariano come out of the bullpen look like a two-seam fastball instead of his normal cutter.
Mariano's last 9 games, 10 and a third innings pitched, 6 hits, a run, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. Line drive, foul ball. Wendell stepped right there. Rangers have the best record in baseball. Yankees beat them 2 out of 3 in Texas. Check that, best record in the American League. Yankees beat them 2 out of 3 in Texas, looking to beat them 2 out of 3 here in the Bronx. Dodgers have the best record in baseball at this point. Fouled away. Kinsler wants to get on, then the guy in the batter's box would be the tying run. He's 2 for 5 against Rivera as Kinsler. And the guy in the on-deck circle is Michael Young. Swing and a miss. Kinsler chases a high fastball, 1 away. At the end of the game, join Bob Lorenz and Ken Singleton for the WB Mason postgame. They'll recap all the highlights from this series and take a look around the Major League. Plus, Gordon Damer will work the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes.
Mariano went in a couple of times, and then there's his patent cutter. And out of the zone, Kinsler, kind of a power hitter swing, is going to have trouble catching up to that.
Michael Young takes a pitch inside. Count 1-1. Missed inside. Young so far today is 2 for 4. And the 2-1. 3-1 along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on Yes, a Thursday matinee. And the Yankees lead this one 8-6. Chien-Ming Wang started for the Yankees, did not get out of the 5th inning. He wasn't terrible, but nor was he what they wanted him to be. And there have been 4 relievers since then. Aceves, Koch, Robertson, and now Rivera to try to close it out. 3-1. Count is full. Tomorrow the Rays come to town for the beginning of a 4-game set. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and then Monday night before the Yankees go to Boston to meet the Red Sox. 3 games. (3-2). Served into right field. That is going to be past the diving Cabrera, and it rolls to the wall. Michael Young's at second. He's going to stop right there. So Melky with the dive could not hold it in.
Yeah, every once in a while as an outfielder you see he went straight across on that ball. It's hard to, you make up your mind you're going for it. But at this situation, you know, you want to do anything you can to keep him at first base for that double play. He just took an angle where he couldn't get in front of the ball by diving, and all of a sudden, you know, it's a do or die.
Here's Hank Blaylock, and the pitch is low. Blaylock is 1 for 4, the one an RBI single in the third. He has 12 home runs, so he has power. Got to make sure to get the cutter in on him. And the count 2-0. A very dangerous player, Nelson Cruz, is on deck. And Blaylock has good numbers against Rivera, 4 for 11. Strike. Backdoor cutter, and the count is 2-1. And now it levels at 2-2. Yankees in the third game of a 7-game homestand. Mariano has not pitched that much because the Yankees have had fairly easy times when they win. This is just the third time that Mariano has pitched since May 24th. And it's not the velocity that's a problem then, it's the location that becomes a problem.
It just doesn't look real free and easy right now, like he's almost trying to get around that ball to throw the cutter instead of just release it like he does naturally.
Two. Popped up, left side, giving chase is A-Rod. Makes the seats by plenty.
You see that ball kind of just hung out over the plate. I mean, it's good velocity, you're right, but it's not the normal cutter that just eats up left-handers inside.
And that's dangerous because a cutter that doesn't cut is kind of an okay fastball. Young's at second with 1 out. The 2-2. Got a piece to stay alive. Two served into center field for a base hit. Michael Young had to head back to second, so he can only advance to third. He didn't want to get doubled off to end the game if the ball was caught by Pena. So Blaylock wins that battle, and now runners on the corners with 1 out.
And Blaylock's had some good at-bats today. You see that backdoor cutter kind of ended up out over the middle of the plate, but a good piece of hitting by driving it back up the middle. Young does a good job. I mean, his run isn't that important. Tying runs at third base. And this is what you have to face back in the 5th inning. Up long, boom. All the power in the world. Nelson Cruz having a great series and a great year.
Cruz 16 home runs. Trying for 17. 0-1.
And you see this has that good late cut. And you see that's not a single swing. He's not trying to hit that ball to right. He's got one thing on his mind to try to win this game here. Tough guy to go up and try to go deep with.
Nice pitch on the outside corner. 0-2. Tried to get him to chase that cutter way outside. The count 1-2. Yankees lead 8-6. We're in the 9th inning. Rivera's trying to put it away. The Yankees have used 5 pitchers. Their offense has come alive. Big hits by Mark Teixeira, Melky Cabrera. Alex Rodriguez. Swing and a miss. He strikes out the dangerous Nelson Cruz. And the Yankees are 1 out away.
You saw some flat cutters to Blaylock, and all of a sudden when Mo gets in trouble, you see that good late action, more free and easy. And he pitched Nelson Cruz like he's used to pitching most of the power hitters. Away with that cutter.
It's up to David Murphy. Murphy's 1 for 3 with a walk. That's a run scored. Right into the hands of Murphy in the count 0-1.
And what a difference. It's amazing. It's like Mo came out of it was like he wasn't kind of not all the way loose or something, but these last 2 hitters, seems like he's got his old cutter back. The ball just ate Murphy up inside.
And the pitch. Popped up. This should do it. A-Rod's there, and the Yankees win 8-6. In the 9th inning, the Rangers threatened no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Melky Cabrera's 2-run home run wins it for the Yankees. That was against C.J. Wilson, and the Yankees take this series 2-1. 8-6, the Yankees win. They were down 5.